like to call the meeting to order, please. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for our invocation. Pastor Kent Groth is with us today from Shepherd of the Hills Lutheran Church.
Let us pray. Oh God, we thank you for the privilege of living in this country, living in this state, in this community. We give you thanks for all the people who have chosen and been willing to serve this town. We thank you for those who have served and are leaving today, the council. We pray for the 2 new ones, that you would bless them as they learn the ropes. We pray for the entire leadership team in this room today, that you'd grant them wisdom as they face many decisions, some difficult. We pray that you would also grant them patience in disagreements that they may have. We pray for them and for all of us in this town that you would bring unity even where there's differences of opinion. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Kent. All right, we're going to proceed with our presentation of the town pins to retiring council members. I'm first going to ask, no, wait a minute. First, I am going to acknowledge the dignitaries that are here. And I see Senate-elect John Kavanaugh and Mayor Jerry Miles. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so first, Councilman Leger will present a gold fountain pen to Council Member Dickey. And they'll both go down in front of the dais for the ceremony. And Councilman Brown is also accompanying them.
Good evening. It's good to see. Can you hear me? Yeah, very good. It's good to see you all this evening. We appreciate you all being here. It's a special evening. We have some folks that have served for a number of years. Ginny, over 8.5 years. I've had the pleasure of serving with her, as well as Dennis, and we want to include him in awarding Ginny's pin. It's been quite a journey. With that being said, I have a few notes here I'd like to refer to try to encapsulate what she's done and some of the things she's been involved in. Councilwoman Dickey was first elected in 2006 and has served for 8.5 years, as I just stated. During her term of office, she has been diligent in her leadership and understanding of issues and has been an advocate for the environment, including recycling. You remember that discussion we had there? Yeah. We filled the chambers that night, didn't we? She has also promoted economic development as well as maintaining improvements of town infrastructure. She's a strong supporter of events and activities that the staff put on, and I know that the staff appreciates her over the years in terms of the relationship she's developed with them and support that she's provided them. Her dedicated service to the community also included representing the town of Fountain Hills on the Maricopa Association of Government Regional Domestic Violence Council, something that's very close and dear to Ginny's heart. In addition, Ginny was a member of several subcommittees throughout her tenure including town manager searches, contract negotiations for public safety, and co-chairing the Centennial Committee. On behalf of the town of Fountain Hills and its residents, we want to offer sincere thanks for all that you've done for Fountain Hills, and we expect that although you'll be leaving council chambers this evening, the work will continue as it did prior to being on council. It's been an extraordinary journey, and you've done a tremendous job, and you've been an incredible asset to the town of Fountain Hills. At this point, I'm going to turn the mic over to Ginny and ask Dennis to present her commemorative pin.
Thank you for your efforts in this town. Thank you so
much. Thank you very much, obviously. I appreciate all those wonderful words. Shortly after a vacation in the 70s to the Camelback Inn, my adventurous parents decided to pull up roots from New York and start a new life in Fountain Hills. After the 5 of us kids decided to follow them to Arizona, they thought they were getting rid of us, it's been an honor for sure to serve this community that I've called home since 1983. My family, we've all participated in a variety of ways in this town. Business owners, chamber officers, the Fountain Hills Theater, of course, my mom in the Scottsdale Symphony, our town logo, my sister did that, the 9/11 statue in the lobby of my dad did that. We've had a lot of different roles in education and in medicine. My dad actually initiated orthopedic training at the VA. He went and did surgery in Africa, and my brother went down to El Salvador. Basically, all staying local long enough for us to boast 4 generations of family right here in Fountain Hills. And our Arizona children that we had now include, of course, parents themselves, doctors, attorneys, nurses, business people. We have master engineers. We have hospitality, health, and fitness professionals, and my own 3 sons who went through Fountain Hills Unified District here. One is a college professor at Rutgers, and one is a firefighter in Scottsdale, paramedic, looking to his mentor, Randy Roberts, on that one. And the youngest is a world touring rock musician. So, you know, if not for my mom and dad's courageous decision to come here, and our desire, of course, to live close to them, who knows where we all would have landed. I'm so full of gratitude. I'm full of gratitude for all the volunteers over the years, all the commissioners, my wonderful council colleagues and the mayors, all the subcommittees and committees we've been on, and of course the dedicated staff. They've all dedicated so much time and effort to the public. I appreciate our residents. I appreciate our businesses. I appreciate the newspaper, all of them, everybody that makes this town what it is. I love my smart, patient husband, Jim, all my true blue friends, and my caring family, some that we've lost, and are sorely missed. I will also miss my routine interaction with being part of the council. You know what that's like. You're friends, but you don't have that everyday kind of interaction. And I'll miss some of the talk about me and Tate, GOP president there, founder of the Fountain Hills Democratic Club, managing to speak together with respect, go out to lunch once in a while, things like that, and even agree on issues, many issues. You know, that's politics, right? But, you know, I said this last night at another gathering, but I look up the word politics. It's Greek for or relating to citizens. That's a positive thing. And while Jim and I are going to be ready for the next part of our journey, whatever we'll do, we'll always have an eye on public service and community. So I'm very happy to have had the chance to spend 31 years in this absolutely beautiful place. And I hope that through the 16 of them that was in as an elected official and all my volunteer opportunities and the relationships that I've had, that I've been able to help a little in some way. So I want to thank you very much, and I want to welcome our new council members and wish you the best of luck. I know you'll do wonderful. Thank you.
Now I'd like to ask Council Member Hanson to present a gold fountain pen to Council Member Elke.
She's going to sing a tune first.
We did that in rehearsal. We're not going to do it now. Many of us were first introduced to and impressed by Tate D. Elke when he volunteered to fill a vacant seat on the council. Many more joined the Tate fan club to elect him to the council in 2010, where he has honorably served for the last 4.5 years. During his term in office, this Marine veteran continued to support local veterans organizations. To support the Red Shirt Friday effort, he purchased the signature Red Shirt t-shirts for all town staff and council members. On November 11th, 2011, he sponsored and organized a Veterans Day event at Fountain Park to recognize and honor our vets. The hundreds of people drawn to the event saw the fountain turn red as a World War II bomber symbolically flew over Fountain Park. Tate has also actively supported the nonprofit and service organizations in Fountain Hills that provide professional services to the town and do so much to enhance our community. His fiscally responsible acumen led to the proposal to pay off the town hall bonds early, which saved the town hundreds of thousands of dollars, assisted in balancing the budget, and ultimately resulted in a mortgage burning ceremony at Town Hall. Luckily, they didn't burn the building down. A local business owner and attorney, Tate has supported Teen Court, been an advocate for our business community, and a regular participant, sponsor, and supporter of town activities and events. In July of 2012 and 2013, he organized and sponsored the 4th at the Fountain Independence Day celebration to provide a local venue for residents to celebrate the 4th of July. An advocate of economic development, he strongly supported the revitalization of the Avenue medians to enhance our downtown, create synergy, and attract visitors, as well as the street maintenance plan to sustain our infrastructure, a significant component of economic development as well. A proponent of healthy debate, Tate methodically made his case on the issues, listened and considered all sides, then voted his conscience on what he felt was best for our community. Town staff has specifically expressed their appreciation of his support during his tenure. Tate, on behalf of the mayor, town council, staff, and citizens, we extend our gratitude to you for your contributions to the town of Fountain Hills, and hope and trust that you will continue your legacy of service in benefiting our community. Based on your past performance, I know you will. Liz Carpenter said that she learned in her 4 decades in Washington that one person can make a difference. Tate, that one person would be you. Thank you, and we'll miss you.
Thank you. Wow, I can't follow that. Can't follow it if I can't find my notes either. Thank you very much, Cassie, for your kind comments. Thank you. I only got 20 pages here, so I will speak quickly. I know you have a meeting. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve the residents of our wonderful town for the past 4.5 years. The time has certainly flown by, and I can honestly say that I would do it all over again, as I have enjoyed my time serving as one of your council members. Also, although there have been times during some of our meetings where I wondered what I had gotten myself into, single trash hauler, annual discussion of the community service contracts, where's Barbara? Necessary budget and staff cuts. The fond memories of my experiences as a council member greatly outweigh any of those more difficult and contentious times. While working on the town's business, I have made a number of friends along the way through my interactions with staff, residents, and my fellow council members. Speaking of my fellow council members, in working with each of you, I have learned and grown quite a bit both on and off the dais, and I genuinely appreciate your friendship. Cassie, your knowledge about our town and its history has been an invaluable asset in knowing where we have been, what we have already tried, and where we should be headed. I have observed that you are never one to talk the most during our council meetings. However, those things that you do say are always thought out, reasoned, and carry a lot of weight with your fellow council members. It's been a privilege serving with you. Dennis, your knowledge and experience as a general contractor has been a great help in cutting to the chase and educating us all regarding the town's construction projects. I have thoroughly enjoyed your straightforward, and some may say no BS, approach to problems. And I hope the residents long remember how your knowledge and influence saved the town a significant amount of money on the downtown plaza project. Cecil, I'd like to echo what I just said to Dennis, and your knowledge and experience and expertise will continue to serve our town well, and I expect great things for you in the years to come. Henry, one of the things I've observed about you that stands out above all else is that you do your homework. I think you pride yourself on that. You always come to the meetings well prepared, you have great questions, and you actively work to come up with solutions and, when necessary, compromise. I like and appreciate the fact also that your favorite word seems to be civility. Ginny, much like Cassie, your knowledge of our town and history has been a tremendous help in understanding issues and coming up with those viable and long-term solutions. Your passion for the town and those issues important to you, along with your willingness to put yourself out there, even when you may be the only one, is tremendous and admirable. Everyone should serve with the amount of passion, caring, and spirit with which you have served. Town staff, I'd like to also thank Ken, Andrew, Bev, Shauna. I know you're out there. You are, Shauna. And all our town staff for the exemplary job they have done during this great recession. You have truly done yeoman's work. Michelle, I also want to thank you for your unwavering love, support, and guidance. Without you, I would not be where I am today. I love you. Lastly, we as a council and a town have certainly done a lot in the past 4.5 years. Much of what we have done has been with considerably less than what the town has had in years past. I am extremely proud of what we have accomplished together and believe we are a model for other cities and towns in how to be responsive, fiscally responsible, and to do more with less. It has been a pleasure, Fountain Hills. I appreciate the opportunity, trust, and confidence you gave in allowing me to serve our town and our community. Thank you.
Following the next part of my script, now comes the swearing in of the newly elected officials. And I'm going to read them first, along with who will be swearing them in. I, Mayor Linda M. Cavanaugh, will be sworn in by my husband, Senator-elect John Cavanaugh. Councilmember Lachey will be sworn in by Federal Administrative Law Judge Ted Armbruster. Councilmember-elect DePorto will be sworn in by his dad, a retired captain of the Los Angeles City Fire Department. Councilmember-elect Magazine will be sworn in by his wife, Cynthia Magazine, who is president of the Fountain Hills Friends of the Library. Okay, and so Bill will go down there.
It says kick me. Wear those tags on your jacket. What a start.
Surprise. You won't forget your name.
All right. Mayor Cavanaugh, would you please raise your right hand? And place your Bible. And repeat after me. I, Linda Cavanaugh, do solemnly swear
I, Linda Cavanaugh, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the State of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the State of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of mayor
And I will faithfully and partially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
of the office of mayor
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Thank you.
I forgot something. Sorry about that. It's my wife, Janet. You can sit down.
Council Member Leger, if you would repeat after me. I state your name,
Henry Leger,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
I will
States
support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of
the
Arizona,
Constitution and laws in the state of Arizona.
that I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
and impartially discharge
and impartially discharge
the duties of the office of council member
the duties of the office of council member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Do you have a card? Do you have a card?
I, Nick DePorter, do solemnly swear
I, Nick DePorter, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and bylaws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and bylaws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge
the duties of the office of council,
the duties of the office of council member,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I, Ellen Magazine,
I, Alan Magazine,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
the duties of the office of council member
the duties of the office of council member
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, that went smoothly. Okay, now I'm up to all newly elected members of the council get a moment to say whatever they want to say. And according to the script, I go first. I want to thank all the citizens of Fountain Hills for once again putting your trust in me and electing me your mayor. I consider it an honor and a privilege to serve you, and I will continue to do so to the best of my ability. While so many people have helped me through my campaign, there are 3 people that I do want to mention who worked hard to get me elected, and that's Mayor Jerry Miles, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, and my husband, Senator-elect John Kavanaugh. I believe our town has made great progress during my first term as mayor, and I will continue to work to maintain the good quality of life that we all have come to enjoy. We are truly blessed to live in this beautiful town. Let's all work together to make it the best place to call home. Thank you. And now I will call on Councilmember Leger.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. I really would like to express my sincere gratitude to all the voters who have entrusted me to serve another term. And a big thanks to my long-term supporters, there's a few of you out there, and my campaign team. And last but not least, of course, my family, my wife Janet, who was kind enough to present the Bible to me this evening, our daughters Kristen and Marissa, for their ongoing support and encouragement throughout the years. I appreciate that very much. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve our town. Working with previous councils has been awesome. I've had an opportunity to work with 3 councils, and this is the 3rd mayor, and including our outgoing folks here. Collectively, we've accomplished a lot, and I'm very proud of working with my peers and of our accomplishments as well as looking forward to working with our new look council. Looks a little different looking down here. Ellen, how you doing? Nick, you're way down there. Anyhow, regarding myself, as I've done in the past, I've been very committed to making informed and strategic decisions that I believed were in the best interest of our community for both residents and businesses alike. There, of course, will be new challenges, yet I am very optimistic and confident about the future of our town. I also believe that we are blessed to live in such a fine place, such a fine community that we can call home, a place where we can live, work, and play. I've traveled a lot, and like many of you, I'm sure you come back to Fountain Hills, and it truly is home. So thank you once again for being here this evening and for your continued support. Thank you.
And now I call on Councilman Nick DePorter.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, everyone that supported me through my 2 campaigns. The second one was much more fruitful for me. Thank you for the faith in putting me up here to help execute what's important for the town. I said during my campaign, I continue, I will always be available to my neighbors, friends, everyone that lives in the community to help make a positive impact. Special thanks to my family, my great in-laws, Kathy and Austin, my kids who are currently yelling in the lobby right now, if you listen closely, and my parents, of course. So I just want to thank you so much. I'm honored to get to serve with all these ladies and gentlemen up here, and I look forward to getting to work on behalf of the town. Thank you.
Councilman Magazine.
Thank you, Mayor. Cynthia and I moved to Fountain Hills 8 years ago, and it didn't take long before we fell in love with the town and decided that we wanted to, from the start, give back in any way we could. And so I'm absolutely delighted that to sit here and that Cynthia has been so active with the library board. I want to thank the citizens of Fountain Hills for demonstrating their support for me. It's indeed an honor to become a member of the council. I'm truly humbled to be sitting on the dais with the leaders of our community. And I want to close by thanking Cynthia for her continued love and support. Thank you.
Now I'd like to call on the other members of the council if they would like to say something. Councilman Yates, followed by Councilmember Brown, followed by Councilmember Hanson.
Thank you, Mayor. To be brief, I just want to thank Tate and Ginny. It's been a pleasure working with you for the last 2 years. It does go by quick. Tate specifically for your level-headed, no-nonsense approach to governing. And Ginny, as I said this to you many, many times, for providing a different point of view. I truly enjoy our discussions. So thank you very much. And likewise, I'm looking forward to the next 2 years working with this group. I think we're going to do some fun things. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Brown?
I, too, would like to spend a minute and thank Ginny and Tate for their hard work they've done for the town of Fountain Hills. And Ginny, thank you for your dedication and hard work for the town of Fountain Hills. You, your guidance, and your hard work has made a significant difference in our town. Councilmember Leger noted some of your accomplishments, and I would like to remind everyone that most of your tenure has been during the worst depression that we have ever experienced in Fountain Hills. But you stayed the course and made the decisions that needed to be made. I don't know anyone that came more prepared for every agenda item every time, and it showed up every time, Jenny. Thank you. God bless you. Now go out and enjoy your life a little. Tate, you old gunslinger, you. Thank you as well for your dedication and hard work for the town of Fountain Hills. The town of Fountain Hills is a better place to live thanks to a lot of your decisions. It was always interesting how you approached your line of questions and thoughts. I guess it was just the attorney in you is kind of what drove that. The tough decisions and the tough votes that were in front of us time and time again became clearer and easier to vote on after you put your unbiased comments on the table. I know some of the professional sacrifices you dealt with over the last 4 years were difficult and trying, so I again thank you for your time and energy for the town of Fountain Hills. It has truly been a pleasure.
Councilmember Hanson.
I have to echo Dennis's remarks about Ginny and doing her homework. She goes through copious amounts of material and always seems to bring in extra things for us. And I don't know of anyone else that reads the minutes as thoroughly and takes the time to correct them to make sure they're accurate. It's really something. And it's always nice to have somebody that emails as late as I do in the middle of the night. So, and Tate, it's just been a joy. And as you alluded to, I'm usually don't say a whole lot. So just from the bottom of my heart, thanks for the memories for you two. And as I said, don't be strangers. I mean, you still have a voice out there. And to our new guys on the block, welcome, and we're going to make new memories.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to thank everyone who came tonight, and we're going to be starting right now the business part of our meeting. So if anyone just came for the swearing in and you would like to leave, please take this opportunity to quietly exit, and then we'll get started. We'll put these two new guys to work.
They get to go to dinner now.
It is warm. Pictures are over.
All right, we'll start with our roll call.
Mayor Kavanaugh.
Here.
Vice Mayor Yates.
Present.
Councilmember DePorter.
Here.
Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Councilmember Hanson.
Here.
Councilmember Magazine.
Here.
Councilmember Leger.
Here.
Thank you, Bev. Okay, first I have a proclamation to read for Mountain Bike Month. whereas our community offers over 150 miles of mountain bike trails in and around Fountain Hills, and whereas the area also hosts a number of mountain biking events both in town and around the area, and whereas the adjacent county McDowell Mountain Regional Park hosts 5 major mountain bike races annually, more than any other bike venue. And whereas the race calendar includes the following events: Dawn Till Dusk, December 13th, 2014, MBAA Race, January 17th, 2015, Fat Tire 40, date to be announced, MBAA's Mark in the Park, March 28th, 2015. Now, therefore, I, Linda M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the Town of Fountain Hills, Arizona, do hereby declare the month of December 2014 as Mountain Bike Month in Fountain Hills, and call upon all citizens to take a moment during the month to appreciate the availability and current use of the mountain bike trails in and around our community. Now we will go to scheduled public appearances presentation. I have kind of a lengthy economic development report because of 2 meetings that I attended, but because of the length of all the ceremony, I'm just going to put that off until the next meeting, just for the sake of time. There were 2 MAG meetings. I know you're always excited to hear about the MAG meetings. So we will go on to an update from Vice Mayor Cecil Yates regarding the recent Maricopa Association of Governments Regional Domestic Violence Council meeting, which was held on December 4th.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to say thank you, everyone, for placing me on this committee, and I was able to take the seat that Ginny Dickey once held. What a tremendous group, although we were there for, obviously, a not-so-tremendous topic. Some quick stats for you. And I apologize if it's somewhat upsetting, but 30 to 60% of all domestic and child abuse are crossovers, meaning somebody involved in one aspect, there's a 30 to 60% chance that they're involved in another. 10 to 20% of all children, all of our children, witness some sort of domestic violence per year. The sex industry, 98% of all people in that industry usually have been brought up in that industry or part of the trafficking industry. The main goal of this group, as with any domestic violence group, is to end the cycle through education, through funding, through getting some of the folks help that need the help. And actually, what I'm excited about this group is we're already talking about some really neat topics of really getting to the root of the cause, not just after it already happens, but why did this happen in the first place. This group is looking to obtain some grants at the state level to keep its ongoing operations. All the regional municipalities, all their law enforcement is working together so that if one event happens with the same individual in one municipality and then he goes and does it again, that there's some communication. Also to fast track these types of things, if you think about it, an event might happen and it may take 6 months to go to court. Well, in that 6 months' time, that one individual can cause that much more damage, or a lot of times the victims of this, they get scared or depressed because it takes so long, and then they rescind their claim, and it doesn't even get resolved. I will say a neat thing with having the NFL Super Bowl here this year is that there's a lot of funding opportunities and PR opportunities, especially with what has gone on with the NFL in the last year. Although it's a good and positive entity and group and business, they're here to help, and we've already partnered with the Cardinals. Every third down that the defense stops the opponent, $1,000 goes towards this group. So there's some neat things coming out of this. With the NFL coming also in the Super Bowl, the O'Connor House is providing some free education to anybody in the entertainment business, specifically hotels, taxi cabs, things like that, just to get educated to look for some of these things that might be happening right under your nose. And if you want to go to the O'Connor House. Thank you, Mayor. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next is the presentation regarding the celebration to occur on December 6, 2014, to commemorate the town's 25th anniversary of incorporation. We'll start with Ken.
Mayor Kavanaugh, I'd like to call staff to provide a presentation to the Mayor and Council regarding the celebration that's going to occur Saturday, December 6th, for the 25th anniversary of incorporation for the town of Fountain Hills. Grace.
Hi, Grace.
Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh, members of the council. Congratulations to our new members. If I could direct your attention to the PowerPoint presentation that we have. This Saturday, December 6th, is going to be a day filled with merriment and town spirit as the town celebrates its 25th anniversary. The day begins with several special events that will fill the entire day. Traditions from years past, Breakfast with Santa will begin at 9 a.m., followed by the town celebration, Trees, Trains, and Wreaths in the Community Center from 12 to 4 p.m. During that time, the 25th anniversary celebration will sponsor bounce houses and activities in the Centennial Circle for children, families alike to enjoy. After that, we invite families and residents to join us in the Avenue Plaza at 4 for an OK Corral performance. In addition to that, vendors, businesses, and members of the faith community will line the Avenue Plaza, a portion of the Avenue Plaza, with different cakes and treats in celebration of the town's birthday, if you will, 25 wonderful years. Following OK Corral's performance from 4:30 to 5 p.m., there will be a ceremony presentation from Mayor Kavanaugh and guest speakers. And then from refreshments and mementos will be distributed on the plaza at 5 p.m. from present council members, past council members, and other dignitaries from town. After that, in conclusion to the anniversary celebration, we invite residents to please stay on the avenue and enjoy the stroll in the glow. With that being said, one very special presentation on that day is that our world-famous fountain will be going off between the hours of 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. at its full height of 560 feet for every hour on the hour for 15 minutes. At this time, I would like to invite Heather Ware up to the stand for a very special presentation. And Mike Chickarone.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members.
Mike.
Do you have to be everywhere? Okay, as both residents of Fountain Hills and town employees, Mike and I are in a unique position to see the value and understand the value of our town. So we thought it would be a neat idea for us to put a video together of 25 reasons to love Fountain Hills. We had the blessing of the planning committee, so we came up with 25 things, and we know there are more than 25 things. We could come up with, say 100 things. So we hope that you'll enjoy and come up with your own list of 25 things to enjoy.
And we hope you like this video as much as we like making it. So here it is.
Okay.
I'm Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I live in Fountain Hills. I love this town. Not just because I live here, but also we do the law enforcement in Fountain Hills. My deputy sheriffs have done a great job, worked very hard along with the mayor and the city council, and I'm glad to report that crime has gone down.
One of the things we love about Fountain Hills is walking around Fountain Hills Park every morning. We love Fountain Park.
I'm Debbie Skian. One of the special treasures in Fountain Hills is this River of Time Museum, and that's one of the reasons I love Fountain Hills.
Hi, my name is Anna Casey. I have been a volunteer somewhere very special for many years. There are many reasons I love our town of Fountain Hills. One reason is our beautiful community center. It has a lot to offer, not only to residents, but to visitors alike. Come, check us out. I'm sure you'll have a good time. Thank you.
Hi, I love volunteering. This is a great town to volunteer in.
Difference Day. Get out, do something, help your neighbor. It's great.
I'm Sharon Morgan, and I have been in Fountain Hills since 1989 when the population was a mere 10,000. I've watched this town grow. I love this town, and part of the reasons I love this town is I had the honor of being a former mayor. My other proudest moments are the art shows. I am the event producer for the Chamber of Commerce and have been working with them since 1989 when we moved here. Those are the reasons I love Fountain Hills. It's beautiful, and I love people, and it's just fun to be here.
My name's Roy Kinsey, and we do love the opportunity, the closeness of the mountains and these trails to everyday life. If you want to escape, you can just hike up there. It is a marvelous outlet.
One of the things we love about Fountain Hills is the Botanical Gardens. Yay! Happy birthday.
Hi, I'm Sandy Thompson, Chair of the Public Art Committee. This is one of the reasons that I love Fountain Hills. We have such a beautiful setting, and we have really aesthetically beautiful sculptures. So please come and see them and enjoy them.
Well, I'm Steve Fleming, and with the Sonoran Conservancy of Fountain Hills, and for the last 10 years been building a lot of the trails that we hope you'll enjoy. In the mountains, we have about 7 or 8 miles of trail, and now we happen to have a trail that connects with the southern end of Scottsdale's Preserve. So we share our borders, and we now share our trails. So I want to invite you out and hit the trail. It's good for your body, and it's good for your spirit, too.
We have different types of medications that can affect our ability to drive, and this can cause
My name is Mike Charno, and I'm with the Noon Kiwanis Club. But one of the favorite things that I love about Fountain Hills is just the community spirit in town and all the service organizations and other volunteer groups that do so much throughout the year to help the town, help the kids, help the elderly in town, just everybody. It's just one of the most awesome things about living in this town.
Hi, I'm Mayor Lindsay Kavanaugh, and I love Fountain Hills. You've just heard 24 great things about our town, and I'd like to tell you just one more. Fountain Hills is a small town with a friendly hometown feel. It's a wonderful community that's bursting with community spirit. It's a great place to live or work, raise a family, or to retire. Everyone feels welcome in Fountain Hills. I'm proud to be the mayor of this great little town. Happy 25th anniversary, Fountain Hills. Wow, you guys did a great job. I know you worked very hard on this. I saw you every day running around town trying to catch people and set things up. Thank you so much. Where are we going to be able to see this?
It's going to be on Channel 11, the website, and Facebook and Twitter.
Absolutely. This is going to be great for our tourism. Thank you. Right. Call to the public. Do we have any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
We don't. Okay. And we'll go on to our consent agenda items. We have 8. Can I get a motion to accept all 8 as written?
Mayor, so moved.
Second.
Okay, and I need a roll call vote for the agenda.
Councilmember DePorter.
Aye.
Councilmember Magazine.
Aye.
Councilmember Leger.
Aye.
Councilmember Hanson.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Yates.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Mayor, 7-0.
Regular agenda items, we'll start with number 9, consideration of resolution 2014-45, considering bids received for the purchase of general obligation bonds of the town, authorizing the issuance of the bonds and awarding the contract for the purchase of the bond. Ken?
Mayor Kavanaugh, members of the council, excuse me for my voice tonight. As you know, the voters of the town of Fountain Hills approved a bond election on November 5th, 2013, authorizing a general obligation bonds sufficient to reconstruct Saguaro Boulevard. For the sale of those, the bids for the sale of those bonds were received today at 10 a.m. and the bonds will be sold with a maturity date of 5 years. The town successfully completed the sale of $7,765,000 general obligation bond as of this morning. The town received 8 bids. The recommended successful bidder was Janney Montgomery Scott LLC. As you recall, the public pamphlet interest stated in the interest rate of 5% with an estimated tax rate of 51 cents per 100 assessed value per household. The town met and exceeded the indication contained in the public pamphlet. The bond size was reduced from 8.2 to again at 7.5 as a result of favorable construction bid climate. The interest has been bid at 2.3%, and the tax impact was reduced from that 51 cents per 100 to an estimated 41 cents based on the same assessed value. In the process, the rating agency of Moody's Investor Service reaffirmed the town's AA2 bond rating, which favored into the interest rate, the interest of firms, as well as the rates being offered. What I'd like to do is maybe ask the bond counsel and the investment banker to come up, and should you have any questions in particular regarding any of the things I just mentioned, they could be better in detail to answer those for you.
Okay.
Mr. Jim Strickland, Ms. Kim McIntyre.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Jim Strickland with Wedbush Securities, financial advisor to Fountain Hills, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have about the process or your results today.
Okay. Questions from council?
Mayor, if I may.
Councilman Leger.
It's good to see you once again. Thank you for sticking with us this long and putting together such a great product. And just to reiterate, our interest rate is what?
The average coupon on your bonds is 2.33%.
Okay.
But the purchaser actually paid a premium for your bonds. They paid you $319,000, which will buy down the yield to the investors and what ultimately you have to repay to just over 1%. Your bond yield is just over 1%, which is amazing.
Very good. Well, thank you for your work, and that's good news you just shared with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council? No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Mayor Kavanaugh, members of the council, it's a recommendation to approve resolution 2014-45 awarding the sale not to exceed $8.2 million principal amount the town of Fountain Hills, Arizona General Obligation Bond Series 2014.
All right. Thank you. I'm looking for a motion.
So moved.
Mayor, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor 7-0.
Thank you. Next is consideration of cut and fill waivers for Parcel B at Fire Rock, a multifamily project located at the northeast side of Fire Rock Country Club Drive. Case number CFW 2014-01. Ken?
Mayor Kavanaugh, members of the council, senior planner Bob Rogers has a report regarding this zoning issue.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This application is for cut and fill waivers that will allow 64-unit multifamily condominium development in 32 buildings. In Parcel B of Fire Rock Country Club, Parcel B contains 14.63 acres. Property is located across Fire Rock Country Club Drive from the Fire Rock Clubhouse, directly south of the villas at Fire Rock. It's located between the driving range and the 10th hole, and it's just west of the Bolera condominium development. Property is currently zoned M1 PUD. This zoning designation would allow for up to 50% lot coverage, some modified setback requirements, and a maximum dwelling unit density of 88 units. Property is currently vacant. The vacant property in the center of the slide, with its only access is off Fire Rock Country Club Drive. Property consists of a long ridge with two high points. I'll hit them with a point here and here. And then the ridge goes along down this way, terminating towards at the bottom of the slope. There's a steep incline coming up from Fire Rock Country Club Drive to the first knoll, then a slight saddle, then the second knoll, then the ridge. Vehicular entrance is on the northwest corner of the property. It's up here. And there's a utility easement and an emergency access egress easement along the south property line, which is this line here. It comes all the way back. And you'll see in a minute there's a cul-de-sac down here that it connects to. The topography is dictating most of the roadway location, with the loop road wrapping around the crest of the ridge here. The 64 condominium units, 32 buildings are proposed. The primary vehicle access here comes in, goes kind of between the two knolls through the saddle and wraps around, and then the cul-de-sac comes here. There are 4 basic unit floor plans. Each will be semi-customizable with various design features like front or side entry garages, walkout basements, but most of those types of features will be based on the topography and location of the specific units. All units will have 2-car garages. In addition, there will be 16 guest parking spaces provided at various pullouts along the roadway, providing for a total of 144 parking spaces, which does meet the zoning requirements. These are some artist renderings of the proposal. The project is being designed to fit into the hillside. We use colors that blend with the natural environment. As I said, there are 4 basic unit floor plans. Each will have some additional optional garage and basement features, as well as a few other features depending on the location and topography. And the applicants can describe those better probably than I can when they come up. These are the exterior elevations of the 4 basic unit designs. And these are some of the examples of the paired units as they would be built, how they might look when they're constructed. This is the shot of the colors and materials board. It's being passed around, I see now. As you can see, it's mostly stone and natural tone colors. The actual colors, I think, are designed more to meet with the desert landscape and blend in better. The reason for this hearing is the applicants are asking for some waivers. There's 1 fill waiver being requested. It is greater than 10 feet in height, visible 10 feet. The maximum depth is 10.51, so 10.5 feet. The total area above 10 feet in depth is 55 square feet. It's located right here. It's a little small dot right at the entrance. And due to the predetermined location of the site entrance, it is staff's opinion that this fill is necessary and reasonable for safe access. There are 4 levels of cut waivers being requested. The maximum depth of each visible cut is noted for each area and shown by the various colors on this slide. Yellow being the deepest. The deepest point is 26.9 feet. Combined, the area of the cut waivers represents 98,578 square feet, or roughly 15.5% of the entire site. Most of the cuts are necessitated by the roadway construction and the location and its location and its need to connect smoothly and safely into the driveways. You remember it wraps around the knoll. And what you can see here is by the shape, the top of the ridge is basically being lowered so that the top units which are being placed on the top will have a lower profile and won't block as many views as they would, since a lot of them are 2-story buildings. Planning and Zoning Commission approved the concept plan at their November 13th meeting. And they also voted to forward a recommendation to council to approve the cut and fill waivers, subject to the stipulations that are outlined in your staff report. Staff also recommends approval of the cut fill waivers, subject to the stipulations in the staff report. And that concludes my presentation, Mayor. And the applicants are present and they have indicated that they would like to make a presentation of their own.
All right, thank you, Bob. Any questions for Bob before the applicant comes up for a presentation?
Mayor,
Councilman Magazine.
am I correct that it's a total of 152 units?
64.
I thought it was, okay, it looked like, I'm new, so I'm getting used to this. I thought it was 66 plus, no?
64 units, and it's 32 buildings that are duplex buildings.
Okay, and do we have any indication as to when construction would begin?
Good question for the applicant.
Okay, next question. Is this in the area controlled by an HOA?
Yes, it's under the jurisdiction of the Fire Rock HOA.
What is our policy with regard to notification, communicating with HOAs in these kinds of situations?
Everyone within 300 feet of this property was sent a letter. Direct contact with the HOA, I don't know that we had any unless they got a letter as well, but I know that they have reviewed it.
But that's not policy. It's not policy to
contact
automatically
the
contact
HOAs?
HOAs?
The HOAs, if we have a condominium development or an apartment development or something like that has an HOA, we will typically send them a letter as well as the residents, yes.
Thank you.
Councilman Hanson.
Bob, are they also covered by the Fire Rock Committee of Architecture?
I believe they are.
Okay.
Any other questions for Bob? All right. Thanks, Bob. We'll have the applicant come up now with her presentation.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. For your records, my name is Wendy Riddell with the law firm of Barry Riddell and Rosensteel, 6750 East Camelback, Scottsdale, Arizona. It's my pleasure to be here this evening on behalf of Toll Brothers. And as my presentation comes up here, theoretically, there we go. So as you are probably already somewhat familiar, Toll Brothers is a nationally recognized home builder who has been building homes throughout the valley, really throughout the country for the last 4 decades. They have built some very successful communities here throughout the valley. You're looking here at pictures from Wingate Ranch over in Scottsdale, Monte Vista over in Phoenix, as well as Verrado out in the Buckeye area, just by way of example. And Toll is very excited about this site. In fact, so excited that they did something that's somewhat unique for Toll, and they actually had a design competition on this site. And they had a couple of different very talented designers present proposals for this project. And ultimately, what you're going to see tonight is the successful winner of those different renditions. So you're already, I know, very familiar with the site, but just by way of context, you'll note that it's a very prominent site central to the community here, very visible off of Shea Boulevard. We also note, just again by way of background, that it is part of your general plan. It is shown as multifamily, and what we're proposing is entirely consistent with both the general plan and with the zoning that's been approved for this site. In fact, what we're doing is a slight reduction in the density that was approved, from the 84 units down to 64 units, paired homes that you see here tonight. So this is the actual plan that was approved. It was called La Bella Vita, so it's intended to be a very intense, dense Italian village. And as you look at it, you'll note, in fact, there's very few breaks, and it really is, it's very reminiscent of that dense Italian village. And by way of example, this is the approved plan that you see here tonight. And you'll note it's kind of layered up the hillside. Again, very few visual breaks, very, very dense. And when you look at this, note too, it almost appears to be 4 or even 5 stories because of the way it's layered up that hillside. So by way of comparison, we are presenting a plan tonight for 64 paired homes. And each of these homes were intended to be very organic, intended to be nestled into the hillside. In fact, the design team went out and stood on the site and very purposefully placed each of these homes, sat there and said, this is the best view, this is how we want to maximize, and determined how each of those homes were going to be situated into the land. So by way of comparison, this is the type of visual look that you will see. And you'll notice again that it is much more organic in nature. And you'll really be able to tell that when you look side by side for the approved plan, again, that dense Italian village, that 4 or 5 stories. And then when you look here, you'll note you actually have a much better view corridor, able to see the mountains there behind it. And this is the south looking towards the northwest. Again, take a look at the approved plan as you're looking towards the 4 peaks. It's a south looking east. A much softer footprint onto the landscape here is the proposed plan. And again, it's very evident when you have that side-by-side comparison of the 2 plans. That very dense Italian village and that much softer desert contemporary style, organically situated on the land. When you look, this is, by the way, this is the approved cut and fill waiver that exists today, and I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that there really is a much more significant fill that occurs here and is much more visible. And though the cuts we're proposing tonight are, by their numbers, deeper, they are actually internal to the site, and they're really situated primarily under buildings and under roadways. So this is the plan that you see by comparison, but you'll notice you don't have that kind of fill. And again, all of this is internal to the site, and it's placed primarily under roadways and under buildings. And I want you to look here at this is the proposed plan. So this is coming in off of Shea Boulevard. This is, again, that prominent visible site. What you would see as you look down is the entrance to the community here, and note that you can see the view of the mountains. Now, by comparison, this is the approved plan. And again, there's no mountain views, and there's a much more, you see the retaining walls here. And again, just to draw that comparison one last time, the view of the mountains, and this is the proposal that we have here tonight. And here's the comparison again, side by side. You'll also note that by approaching the site design this way, we have significantly reduced that vertical massing. So again, if these were level ground, if you look up, you see that 4 or 5 story stacked Italian village, or you see that more organic, nestled into the ground, preserving those view corridors and reducing the overall impact of the project. And again, just that comparison, these are all different images as we've circled here around the site tonight of the approved plan, the proposed plan. That lower profile on the hillside becomes very apparent from this vantage point. And so finally, just a couple of quick items to follow up. And one of the other things that dramatically drove the design for this site was actually the landscape, that it was intended to be that natural Sonoran landscape, again, consistent with that softer footprint of the approach of the development here tonight. We do have the sign-off from Water, Chaparral City Water, Fire Department, Police, Sanitary District, SRP, your staff, planning staff, and most notably, the unanimous approval of the Planning Commission. And we do have, it's worth noting, we have the sign-off and the approval and the recommendation from the Fire Rock Community Association. What's cited here is actually a letter from October. I forwarded to Mr. Rogers, I think 48 hours ago, that we have one from 2 days ago, where they have approved the site and are very excited for the project as we propose it. So just to conclude, we would appreciate a recommendation for approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rendell. Questions from Ms. Rendell? From Councilwoman Hanson?
I just want to say I think you've designed a better mousetrap. I mean, I think the comparisons that you've provided, really contrast the original plan to the proposed plan. I appreciate the reduction in density and all the massing of the roofs that really break it up. But I think most significant is getting the buildings off of the ridgetop and nestling them into the property. And I think it looks like a really nice project.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, do we have any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
All right, all right. Councilman Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Wendy, it sounds like you don't like the dense Italian village look. And then I also felt like I was in front of the opposition. Do you like A or do you like I would like to take a second and thank the Toll Brothers for coming to Fountain Hills and for the first time in years and years investing money in our town, hopefully investing money in our town. It is a big undertaking to produce and build on a site like this, as well as the Darrow Canyon, which we've looked at. But I want to thank you for coming to town. And then I would like to also let everybody know that I don't go around the neighborhoods driving through subdivisions and looking at them. But when I drive by a toll project, I will tell you that I've always noted that it was clean, it was well built, it was high end, and always looked good at the end of the day. And I think that's the look that we're truly after. And then I would also like to talk about your product. I truly believe that your product, your architects that came up with your product, did an outstanding job. It's a fresh and it's attractive look. It's clean. It fits the site. But along with the compliment to the architect that did your design on your property, it had to be a team effort with the land development company, which Swayback, as this council knows, is probably one of the best in America. And I compliment you for finding the time and energy and money to hire them and then letting them do what they did. And with the two combined, as well as the project has been presented and as good as it looks, I think we would be not serving our community properly by denying this cut and fill. I feel like that you have done your homework. I feel like that the project is an A+ look compared to what we did have. But I really, really do mean I think you've got a good-looking project. And with that, I'd like to make a motion, if I may, Mayor.
Thank you.
I move to approve the cut and fill waiver for Parcel B at Fire Rock, a multifamily project located on the northeast side of Fire Rock Country Club Drive, as presented.
Second.
Any other council discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor, 7-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dell. Number 11, consideration of Resolution 2014-50, approving the revised town organizational chart for the Administration Department and the Community Services Department, the 2014-15 pay plan, and the schedule of authorized positions and employee job descriptions to reclassify the park attendant position, to retitle and rearrange the part-time tourism assistant position to a full-time tourism coordinator, and to convert the part-time economic development specialist position to full-time, authorizing the necessary budget transfer, and authorizing a change to the allocation of excise tax for economic development and downtown strategy. Ken?
Mayor Kavanaugh, members of the council, the Administrative Services Director, Mr. Grady Miller, is here tonight to give a presentation and staff recommendation for the three staff positions in discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Before you tonight is, as the manager indicated, a request for 3 mid-year changes relating to personnel. I'll go quickly through the background to give you some essence as to why we are here tonight. Going back to 2013, the Town Council approved the Fountain Hills Economic Development Plan. The Economic Development Plan includes tourism as a key targeted industry sector, among others. Last January, a part-time economic development specialist was hired, primarily to help carry out those economic development functions and to implement the Economic Development Plan. You'll recall back in January, the town went ahead and took over the tourism function that previously had been provided by the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce. So since January, the town has assumed that, and we had a part-time tourism assistant created to help fulfill that effort. just as a summary, and this is, again, you've already heard this in a very long summary, and I'll just be quick with this. What we're asking for you specifically is to convert a part-time economic development specialist to full-time with benefits, converting a part-time tourism assistant to full-time with benefits, and retitling to tourism coordinator, which in looking at the position and the essential duties, it was necessary to change because the position itself was really at the rate of a pay as an entry-level job that is consistent with custodian and a groundskeeper position. So it was really, it's a professional level position, and looking at the labor market and the internal equity in the organization, it was appropriate to retitle and rearrange. Also, while this isn't related to the economic development specialist or the tourism coordinator position, at the same time we were looking at making a change to a park attendant position and making that a lead park attendant without benefits. As part of this, to make all these happen, we have a request for approval of revised job descriptions and organization charts, revised Fountain Hills pay plan, and then, of course, a revision to the 2014-15 schedule of authorized positions. A key component on the economic development end of this request is approval of changing the allocation of excise tax from 40% downtown strategy and 60% economic development to 80% economic development and 20% downtown strategy. You'll recall that as through the budget process last year, it was a 40-60 split, and as part of tonight's proposal, we're requesting to change that to 80-20, which will actually help fund these positions. Just to go into a little bit of detail, the economic development specialist is budgeted at 0.63 full-time equivalent. That would be roughly 25 hours a week. The full-time economic development specialist, as a result of this recommendation, will have an additional 15 hours plus a week to be able to accomplish much of what is required in the economic development plan and to try to attract and retain businesses in town. No other requested changes to the economic development job description or pay rate. The only thing we did change was the making it go from non-exempt to exempt, which would be consistent for this particular classification. Salary range, again, is the same. We went from an hourly rate to basically the same rate as before. The total cost is $52,000 in salary and benefits, and let me just explain what that is. We currently have funds budgeted this year. So this is the difference between at 25 hours a week, no benefits, with 40 hours a week plus benefits, with the possibility that the individual may actually enroll, a spouse in the benefits, which gives it a variable what that might be. It likely would be less than $52,000. The other position we were talking about tonight is a tourism assistant. Tourism assistant is currently budgeted at half of a full-time equivalent. We're requesting to convert this to a full-time status with benefits. You've probably seen a lot of effort on the part of the staff with respect to tourism and special events since this function was taken over last year. And I know that this has been a big objective and priority of the council to do more to promote our town for attracting tourism and dollars, obviously, that come to our town. And looking at this position, the essential duties and the education requirements and some of the beefed up attributes that are in the job description would require us to retitle this to a tourism coordinator. And the recommended salary range is $40,111 to $57,042. Again, the current rate is $11.69 an hour starting, which is roughly $24,000 a year. So the total cost for this would be approximately $16,100 in salary and benefits. The next position, which is unrelated to the other two, is a lead park attendant. The park attendant position was evaluated in September. I was requested to take a look at this by both the community services director and the recreation supervisor. The current employee performs regular duties of a park attendant, plus in addition to that, what I would call quasi-supervisory level duties, such as training other employees, providing direction and assignment to other employees, communicates policies to employees, and reports back operational issues on behalf of the other park attendants to his supervisors. The park attendant is a senior employee performing in a lead capacity to others. And we basically have, this is a type of approach that the town has taken in a number of areas. We have lead operations workers at the community center. We have a lead park position that is a lead position in the Parks Division. So this is really consistent with the organizational philosophy that we have. It's recommended that we have this position reclassed to a lead park attendant. Hourly rate that's recommended is $14.20 to $20.19. And the total cost would be $2,650, which is primarily just the salary or hourly rate plus Social Security and Medicare. And the department has indicated that they have the resources to absorb this without any additional change in budget. Before you is just the updated organization chart. If you look to the right here, you see the economic development specialist in blue. It's proposed to go from 0.63 FTE to 1. And then on this chart, there's actually two items I want to point out. If you look over to where it says recreation supervisor, you have the tourism coordinator proposed at 1 FTE. That would be going from half of an FTE to 1. And then if you look down a little bit further, on the far left, you see a lead park attendant. That previously would have been a park attendant, and it is a lead park attendant we're recommending. No change in number of hours, just in the pay. Before you, just to summarize, the resolution that you're asked to approve authorizes the conversion of the part-time economic development specialist and tourism assistant positions to full-time positions, and that would be effective January 1st. Also approves updated job descriptions and org charts based on these changes, including retitling the tourism assistant position to a tourism coordinator, and again, that would be effective January 1st. And then it approves reclassifying the park attendant to a lead park attendant effective January 1st. And then the pay plan and the schedule of authorized positions would be updated based on these actions tonight. This action tonight, approving the resolution, would also authorize $16,100 transfer from the Economic Development Fund to the Tourism Fund. And this, again, would be to provide funding for the tourism coordinator position. And then finally, the last part of this resolution is to change the allocation of excise tax from 40% downtown strategy and 60% economic development to 80% economic development and 20% downtown strategy. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions? Councilman Yates.
Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Yates.
Thank you, Mayor. Grady, thank you. What's the net result of going from 60 to 80 on the excise tax?
Excuse me?
What is the net result
dollars?
by the dollar amount that we're not going to be putting into the downtown fund?
Let me see. I have that in a staff report here.
And
so currently, it's $117,540 that's going into the downtown strategy initiative. And so that would go down to $58,788.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, if I may, I view this, at least the tourism and the economic development, this is the kind of investment that we do need, because this is more business development, advertising, marketing, and we've had this discussion up at this dais before about using business models. And right now on advertising, most organizations spend 6 to 8%. We're spending just in, what did we inherit, a $50,000 stipend to do this. In order for us to build our economic development, I mean, one business can generate a simple $26,000 in sales tax revenue alone, and that's a modest $1 million in gross sales. So easily between these two positions, we could pay for them hopefully 5-10 times over just in the work that they would do. So I'm a strong proponent of this, but thank you, Grady. I appreciate this.
Anyone else? Yes, Councilman Porter.
Thank you. I'm also a strong supporter of this. I just gave a speech to my boss today about how if we're not on the field, we're not in the game. So to have the great work that our tourism, or hopefully soon to be tourism coordinator and full-time economic development specialist do, I think we're going to be there and we're going to be part of the larger conversation that happens all the time outside of our town. So I think it's a very good use of our time and funds.
Great. And if I just might add a comment, just to kind of dovetail on what the Vice Mayor said. If you recall in the job description for the tourism coordinator, there's also one of the duties would be to actually seek out grants to help pay for some of the marketing and tourism promotion efforts that we do. I know that the Arizona Office of Tourism has grants that they've made available in the past, and the sports and TSA, I'm trying to think, the Tourism and Sports Authority has also made grants available. So there's opportunities out there that we could leverage with our own resources to make our dollars go further.
Madam Mayor. Also, our sports teams have grants.
Councilman Magazine.
Previous council established economic development as its number 2 priority, with roads being number 1. And I just want to say that Councilman DePorter and I are both former chairs of Strategic Planning Advisory Commission and helped put together the ED implementation plan. It's very complex, takes an enormous amount of work. It's going to take a long time to see any results. And I just want to speak in favor of Scott Cooper, who I think has just done an outstanding job, working about half-time, although I don't believe for a minute he's only putting in half-time. He's just done a terrific job. When you look at trying to work with the businesses that are here and try to retain them in the community, trying to encourage other businesses around the valley to think about Fountain Hills, to try to increase the population of the town. I mean, you could go on and on and on. The implementation plan was this thick, had a lot of recommendations, and here we have a half-time person. Personally, I'd like to have 3 Scott Coopers, but I know that's not in the cards. But I just want to say that Scott worked very closely with the SPAC, did an outstanding job, and I certainly hope Council will support a full-time position for him.
Councilman Leger.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm certainly in support of this resolution. I think that for those of us that have been here for a bit, recall that when we brought Mr. Cooper on and we brought Gracie on, that we would take a look at moving them to full-time as we looked at things develop. And just based on their performance, Gracie's done a tremendous job, Scott's done a tremendous job. I think the time is now to move it forward, and I'm certainly in favor of it. I think for the benefit of the public, it appears in some press that we're adding 2 full-time positions, and I want to make it perfectly clear that these folks are on board and we're simply increasing their hours, and not at the expense of additional dollars. We're just reallocating our excise tax fund formula. And you did a very nice job not getting tongue-tied on that in terms of going from 40-60 to 80-20. And that gap between moving the downtown development from 40 to 20 to Vice Mayor's question frees up close to 58,000. Well, it frees up $58,752, which covers the cost for this. So it's just changing the formula, and we're not really looking at increasing the budget in any other fashion. So thank you for your analysis and your presentation. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Did you want to make another comment?
Just one short comment.
Yes, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, this really does feel good. The last 6 years, all we've been able to do is lay people off and downsize, and here we're finally talking about bringing our town back to life, and I agree we're on the right track with Economic Development Director full-time. But I also am sure glad to see that we're going to be giving Parks and Recreation just a little bit of support. That organization has worked themselves to death, and so I am fully supporting everything we're doing with this.
Thank you. And I'm not going to reiterate everything that everyone said. I'm just going to say that I agree with what's been said here. I work very closely with Grace, and she's done a great job, and I know that Community Services Director Mark Mayer has also spoken highly of her, and Rachel also has enjoyed working with her. Grace works very hard, and there's never enough time to complete her job. And as for Scott Cooper, not only observing myself, the great job that he's done, but in contact with GPEC, they have also said that they feel that Scott is a great asset, not only to us, but working with GPEC. So we also have some outside opinions on our good choice, and we certainly don't want to lose either of them to some other town. With that being said, if there are no more comments, Councilwoman Hanson?
At our last meeting, Henry came up with a very good idea when I brought up the issue of possibly adding a couple more lights at the end of the medians at Saguaro and the Avenue to try and illuminate that intersection a little bit. And it was said that we couldn't really use the bond money because that hadn't been specified. But Henry brought up that possibly we could use some of the downtown funds for that purpose. And so my only concern is that if we're changing the division between these two, that would impact the possibility of having adequate funds for the lights, which to me is a public safety thing.
Mayor, if I may.
Okay, I was going to ask Grady to speak to that, but if you'd like to.
Kind of anticipating that as part of this whole process, and we did talk about it, I think we're left with a balance of close to $1 million still in that downtown fund. And we'll be placing in there close to 117, take away 58, do the math, a significant amount of money to at least pay for that project. But there is a balance there. You may recall when we went to the 40-60 split, we preserved 100% of the downtown fund for the Avenue project and having come in under budget. There's a significant balance there. So I believe we can do that. And we have a retreat on the 29th, so there you go. Bring that up then. Very good. Thank you, Mayor.
Grady, is there anything you would like to add to that?
Actually, that's probably more of a town manager question, but that's my presentation, and I appreciate the comments.
Right. Ken?
Thank you.
We can certainly talk about it on the 29th.
Okay. All right, great. Any other comments? Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt Resolution 2014-50 to implement the recommended council actions.
Second.
Any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
All right, any other council discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor, 7-0.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Grady. Discussion with possible directions to staff related to any item included in the League of Arizona Cities and Towns Weekly Legislative Bulletin. Ken, anything?
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Nothing? Okay. Anyone else have anything related to the legislature right now? Vice Mayor.
Madam Mayor, thank you. I had the opportunity this week to speak to some of our staff, as well as our Secretary of State-elect and State Senator-elect regarding HB 2111 and the TPT tax and how it will affect our small businesses, primarily the sole proprietors, plumbers, electricians, things like that. And I would like to at least either give me the permission, I'll do it, but just send a formal update to try to find out exactly how this is going to affect these businesses. Primarily, for example, if a plumber goes and buys a disposal in Mesa, at this point, from what the discrepancy is, they're paying the tax in Mesa and they're collecting the tax in Fountain Hills, but we're not getting our share. I know it was part that they were trying to make this understandable, but there is still some discrepancy, especially with some of the accountants and how this is going. Thank you.
And I would suggest that you contact Ken Strobeck at the League. He has a committee set up that's looking into the TPT, since the construction industry right now is in negotiations to make some changes. They haven't mentioned any change to that. They were just talking about the percentage of remodel was what they were negotiating right now. And I had already spoke to Councilman Brown because they are offering 15%. So they do have a specialist that's looking into that. And so if you contact him, maybe bring us back a report on that. That would be great.
I will. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, anything else? Okay. All right, and number 13, anything from Ken? Council discussion direction to town manager? It says none. You don't have anything. Okay, and summary of council requests and report on recent activities. Just for our 2 new members, this is where you get to say anything you want to say. That's that maybe you've done, you want to share. If you've gone to a meeting, if you've been to an event you want to tell somebody about, this is your opportunity to do this. And I'll probably be joining you at this time to do that, though I don't have anything to report today. If you had anything that you wanted to say at this time, so next time you can plan. All right, whatever you would like everyone to know. Do you have anything? Go ahead.
If everyone doesn't already know, the plaza on the avenue is now open. The fences are down. I'm seeing people enjoying it already, walking dogs, enjoying the seating, the covering, and the Christmas holiday lights are going up as we speak. So please take your opportunity to make it down there, especially this Saturday for Strolling the Globe and the 25th anniversary of Fountain Hills. Thank you, Mayor.
And we do have doggy bags.
And we do have doggy bags.
How many do we have?
There's been 6,000 ordered.
All right, 6,000 ordered, so there's plenty for everybody walking their dog. Anything else? If the council will permit, I just want to wish all of our Jewish residents a very happy Hanukkah from all of us. And with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
And all in favor of that?
Aye.
Any opposed?